palmistry reading of a 1 month year old baby boy. We would be reading his particular hand, but before we start, I would request you to press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. You can call me or you can email me. These are the phone number and email that I've mentioned here if you wish to take a reading from me. And now we straight away head to this particular hand image. Now the mother wanted to know about the health of this particular baby, how it's going to be. The first image that we have in our hand right now out here is we are looking at the nails. The nails basically signify many different type of diseases. Even doctors, they can basically find if a particular nail, a particular shape of a nail is signifying any particular diseases. It's only when the nails are a little bit different, so we don't find these are very normal kind of nails that we have in front of me, and they are not in any way different. I would just explain to you briefly what I'm trying to convey out here. I would tell the disease, and I would tell what shape that particular nail normally represents. But in this, we don't find any such as such. If it's a V-shaped nail, it is something to do with the nerve related diseases, and it can go to extreme. So we don't find the nails to be V-shaped, nor are the nails depressed inside the skin. Like sometimes the skin basically comes over the nails. That's when it is not considered to be good, and the nail is kind of hiding and is V-shaped. So that is the extreme case of nervousness, and it can lead to very bad health effects. So we don't find any such sign out here. If the nails are bloated, if the nails are bloated kinds, even then bloated means like ballooning type, then it means that lung related diseases. So we don't even find this particular aspect in the nails. The fourth aspect is basically if the nails are really small in comparison to the fingers, then we say heart related issues. We don't even find the nails to be extremely small. So that's the reason why looking at the nails, I don't find any disease as such. But now we move on to the hand in general. So first we are going to take a look at the right hand. Right, this is the left hand that we have. I'm just taking a look at the right hand. This is the right hand that we have in front of us. Now we have to look at just the basic lines out here, how the basic lines are there in this particular palm. And there are different types of health. One is mental health depicted by the mind line. The emotional health, the health of your heart is depicted by your heart line. And the lifeline in general tells about how good your health is going to be, how strong your constitution is going to be, how much energies you're going to be having. So this is the area of Venus. Venus is the area of energy, vitality, and stamina. And this is basically the area of this area that I'm encircling is the area of Mars negative. So all these areas should be reasonably good. Only then we can say with certainty that the likelihood of the person having a good physical health is going to be there in that particular person's life. So what we find out here is that the lines are extremely simple. You should have very simple kind of lines, no complicated kind of lines. Those are considered to be good. So first we would take a look at the headline. The headline is very deep and clear and singular, so clarity of mind it shows. It doesn't mean that there would be no troubles, mental troubles in this particular person's life, but with a strong mind line, it signifies that the person is not going to face any mental issues, even if huge amount of problems come onto this particular person's head. So this is what is depicted by a strong line of head. Strong line means clarity in the headline. There should be no wave-like formations, and it shouldn't be having these island-like formations that I'm drawing over the palm right now. So those should not be there on your palm. A simple line, deep line, clear line is good enough. The length of the line is also reasonably long. So in that way also it is good. That means strong mentally the person is going to be strong. So this is a positive aspect to have. And we don't see any negative aspect as such on the palm when we take a look at the right hand. Right hand is the active hand, left hand is the passive hand. We don't know which hand the person is going to be using when the person is growing older. But it doesn't mean that the right and the left hand are completely different. In most cases, they are nearly the same, but in few cases, it could be major differences. So we would be taking a look at the left hand at the later stage. Right now, we are just taking a look at the right hand. So the other line that we are going to be looking at is the heart line. Now the heart line is coming and ending somewhere under the mount of Saturn. Ending somewhere around the mount of Saturn brings in wisdom, brings in materialism, brings in the person is good at managing money, and the person is responsible. Responsibility kind of this thing is not only coming after, it is not like the person is not becoming responsible only after a particular age. It is right from childhood the person is likely to be responsible. And the heartline as such is simple, deep, clear. People who have breaks on their heartline, if a person, I'm just drawing what breaks basically look like. So the person does not have any break in the heartline. No break in the heartline mean consistent kind of a strong heart. Basically, it means that means there would be no emotional issues that is going to take the person downwards, or the physical heart condition is also going to remain intact, strong. Now, it doesn't mean, again, I will just repeat one thing, that it doesn't mean that nothing is going to happen to this particular person. Even if something happens, the heart is going to function in the most proper way, and the person is going to recoup any emotional issues or any issues with the heart as well. Although sometimes we don't even see any sign on the heart, and yet the person might suffer heart related issues. So in this case, we are not finding any wrong issues on the heartline, so we don't find any problem as such when we are looking at the heartline. Now, the most important area of the palm is the area of the lifeline. Lifeline, people think that lifeline is the only area where we look for good health. But as I've already explained, we can look for good health on your mind line as well as on your heart line as well. And at the same time, lifeline as well. Lifeline is the life energies. The lifeline basically signify how much energies and vitality and stamina the person is going to be having. So the area of the mount of Venus is basically the area of your energies, how much energies the person does have. If the area is well padded, in a child we can't say with certainty, because the hand shape is going to remain the same, but as the person grows older, it might it might feel a little bit different when we shake hand of this particular person. So I find, at least with my thinking and my experience, I find that this is a reasonably good amount of Venus that depicts good amount of energy levels and vitality and stamina. We do not find any negative lines as such. Some people have got too many lines over the amount of Venus. Too many lines over the amount of Venus means wasting of your energies. So we don't find that indication, nor do we find too many lines under the amount of Mars negative. That is basically the area of your fire. Mars is the red planet. Red means anger, aggression, and fire. So this is your area of your fire. And fire is maximum in people's stomach. And people who do have a troubled stomach might have this kind of a lines out here on the mount of Mars negative. Mars negative is just the name of a particular mount, and this is the area of planes of Mars. Some people call it Rahu, but I call it planes of Mars. This is what the book basically says. Even this area does not, the planes of Mars is also a very important area for your health point of view. People who have got trouble Trouble means too many crisscrossing lines, something like this. Too many crisscrossing lines, the person's health might get affected. Or there could be something like these are crisscrossing lines out here, so that basically destroys a particular area. Too many lines basically makes that area, makes that particular mount overwork. We do not find these kind of indications there on his right hand. And so even the Mars area is reasonably good. And now we move on to other aspects of the palm as well. We'll take a look at the mount of Jupiter. Mount of Jupiter is appearing to be prominent. Again, the way like a child hand does undergoes few changes, the lines are going to remain the same. Try to understand. But out here we are finding that there's a very good padding, extremely good padding over the mount of Jupiter. And Jupiter is a big planet. Big planet means growth, expansion in one's life, honor in one's life. And apart from that, we don't find any crisscrossing lines, negative lines, so that's a positive aspect. Other positive aspect that we find out here is upward line from the headline. There are two upper line from the headline pointing towards the mount of Jupiter. This is the headline, and they are pointing towards the mount of Jupiter. So these are one of the best indications to have on a particular person's palm. Now, Jupiter has got many meanings. This is the area of administration, religion, politics, and honor. High position. See, high position. The person would always be seeking higher position in his life. So, right now, the person is just newly born, so the person can't do anything. But it does have effects on the parents as well, the family as well. So, people who have these kind of lines kind of take their family to higher growth, expansion, and honor. All these things might come to the person's family. This is just a possibility, and at a later stage, it's going to come to this particular person as well. This is, we are talking about honor and position. So these things are going to be there. The person could rise up to a higher position in his life. Now, see, each and every mount does tell something about the health as well. So we don't find, because the hand in general is good without any bad indications as such. So we would say with clarity that the chances are that the child might not suffer anything as a child, and at the same time when the person grows up. Now, another important line is the line of Mercury. These are two lines that we are talking about, moving towards the mount of Mercury. Now, Mercury is the planet for skill. People who have got these particular lines that I've just drawn, of moving from the lifeline, this is from the close to the lifeline, they're moving towards the little finger, the finger of Mercury. And people who have confusing kind of Mercury lines, broken kind of Mercury lines, those are considered to be negative, because what it would do is that it would kind of put the liver, because these lines are also called the line of health, and this line is also called the line of liver. So the liver gets affected if this line is either wavy or broken. So both cases, we do not find these lines to be broken, nor there are too many lines under it. Nor there are too many lines. They are just two lines as such, moving towards the mount of Mercury, and that's it. And that's good enough for skill as well as good functioning of the person's liver. Now we move on to the left hand. In the left hand, what we find is that same indications can be seen, that the headline is very deep and clear. There's an upward line from the headline moving towards the mount of Jupiter. This I've already explained, so I would not explain once more. The lifeline, on the lifeline is starting. There's a small break on the left line, but again it's a restart, and it's a perfect kind of a line. So there's no problem as such on the lifeline as well. And we talk about the heartline. Now in this case, the heartline is a little bit different. The difference is that the heartline is leaning a little bit downwards towards the headline. This is the headline, it's leaning towards the headline. So this is considered to be a little bit negative sign. A hard line that ends somewhere close to the headline or touches the headline, it means that the person might have misplaced affection. The person could be affection to those people who are not worth his affection. See, what is happening is it's showing prominently in the left hand, but it is not showing so prominently in the right hand, or it might not be showing at all in the right hand. We can't say with certainty. So what is happening is that in the initial years, the person might feel that other people, the other kids or those things might misuse, or the person would be affectionate to those people who are not worth his affection. But as the person grows older, things are going to improve. One more thing I need to add out here is that one line doesn't mean everything goes bad. Try to understand, one line, one negative line doesn't mean everything goes bad. Some line or the other is going to be bad and some could be good. So the good lines can take the person out of problems. Even if there are a few negative signs on your palm, it doesn't matter, because the good lines are going to take you away from problems and bring you in a comfortable position. So in this child case, in this child who is just 1 month old, we find that this is the headline and this upward movement of the headline towards the Mount of Jupiter. So a person who is at a higher position, who would rise up to a higher position, what it means is even if there are few misplaced affection, it doesn't matter. And the headline is neat and clean. So neat and clean headline also means that whatever issues might come up with the bad relationships or misplaced affections, those are going to get covered with a strong mental outlook. So this is what is being seen in this child's hand. Apart from that, it does appear that the fingers and the palm as such is reasonably strong. A reasonably strong hand is a good indication for good health. A weak hand, a very weak hand, would mean feebleness in thoughts and feebleness in actions. Right now, because the person, this is a child, a newly born, so we can't say these things with certainty, but it appears that the hand is reasonably strong. So there's no problem as such that I can foresee regarding his health. And as such, we find that it's a reasonably good hand, and the mother need not worry about any bad things that can happen. Minor things they can be there, but we can say with certainty that no major issues may crop up in this particular person's hand. So briefly, before I end this video, I will just take a look at the images. I just take a look at the images again. Fewer lines over the mercury is a good sign. And as such, there are few lines all over the palm. Even this I consider to be a good sign on the palm. And I would just end my video out here. And before I end my video, I would just repeat few things that I repeat in almost all my videos. That is, we can come to know about money from almost all aspects of our hand. It can be a heart line, headline, lifeline, sunline, Mercury, Venus, Mars, or any other line. In this case, the lady wanted to know about the health. So even health we can see from almost all possible lines, and and all possible mounts as well. And a saint once said, you do not need to go to an astrologer or a palmist to know about your future, because you already know your future. Present is the result of past. How will be my future? Future depends upon what you are doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company. Company matters the most. If we are in the bad company, it's going to take us to the wrong direction. If we are in the right company, everything is going to be fine. Even the negative aspects on our palm are not going to play out at all. So my request to you, or people who are watching this video, would be to press the bell icon on YouTube. Don't miss another update. If you have any questions on palmistry or on this particular palm, you can write to me and ask me. I would be happy to answer you. Thanks, bye, and take care. Just briefly, I would talk about the money line, just briefly, very briefly. The money line as such starts on the Mount of Moon. This is the area of Mount of Moon. It is basically the area of trading activities, service industry. It is also the area for foreign countries. It doesn't mean that the person goes to a foreign country. It just means that the associations might help this particular person to reach a higher position. It is also the area when the money line starts from the Mount of Moon. Any suggestions taken from mother or sister or females. Females can be known females or unknown females, and in foreigners it could be male and female both. Those are likely to benefit this particular person. Even after marriage, things can improve in this particular person's life. This is the money line that I'm drawing, and this is the headline, this is the heart line. So before the money line crosses the headline, this age is basically the age 35. And from intersection of the head and the money line, we move to the this particular line out here, the money line, and this is the heart line. So this intersection is age 53. So this portion is 35 to 53. This portion is 35 to 53 and 53 and beyond. So we find that the money line as such starts early, but then it kind of ends somewhere close to uh, touching the money line, the headline. So before the age of 35, it kind of ends and a new line develops. So somewhere close to the age of 30, 31, 32, things are going to change in this particular person's life. Then things start somewhere at the age of 34 and they move forward. It ends at the age of 35, 36. Another one starts somewhere close to the age of 40, and that basically continues till 53. Then beyond 53, the line basically changes and moves a little bit towards the Mount of Jupiter. That's it for this particular reading. Thanks for watching this video. Bye and take care.